I got our 3D jig made up for our Electron Cross-kart. We got our rear main upright, our windshield upper post upright, and then our nose upright. And then here's our roll bar, our windshield, hood, nose, I guess you would call it. Here's our main bar, and we've got our two frame rails. Well, we'll set our main frame rails in place first. Like we said, we've got our base rail, I guess you would call it. And here's our two side rails, just laid out for now. And then we'll set up our roll bar and nose bar. And then our roll bar, something along those lines. I'm gonna have to use a ratchet strap to draw it in at the bottom. And then it'll come forward a little bit, connect with our main rails. And now we'll add our nose rail. And our hood nose rail, whatever you want to call it, go on about like that. And then we'll bring up our side rails. Now we can mark where they need to be notched. Also, we want our main frame rails 17 inches wide, so I set up our cross jigs are both cut at 17 inches. So we just butt up our rails right to our jigs, and that maintains them where they need to be. Yeah, that's about what we had in mind. Now that we have everything kind of roughly mocked up, we can work on the notching, I guess you would say. Because we'll need to notch this pipe, the front and the rear. Now we know roughly where our center point is. And also back here, we can mark where our center point is. And then we know we need to round it a bit. I got our frame all up on our jig and everything. And aligning and double checking measurements, and now I got it tacked in a little bit. And then I started drawing together the roll bar. We'll get it lined up on the frame. I have to do a little bit of notching down here, and we'll get it tacked in. And I'm thinking that's about how we want it to look. Getting our roll bar tacked in place. Got the left side tacked down. And the right side's off a little bit. No big deal. We'll just ratchet it in just a little bit, and then I'll double check our distances, and also front to back distances and everything. Working on the roof line a bit now. Had a couple of already bent pieces of pipe, but I believe the low one's a little too low and the upper one's a little too high. So I guess we'll have to find the happy spot in the middle. Got our roof line tacked in. Now I'm working on these upright braces. Go from the floorboards, kind of like right in front of the seat area. I'll go up and prop where the windshield bar is. Got the outward bends on both sides. That'll strengthen that up. We got a couple of short bent bars. Kind of something along the lines like that, maybe. I've got most of our main structure tacked together. Now we're down to these upper A-frame supports, I guess you would call them. And I guess we had to come up with our A-frames and also the spindle so we know how far these need to be apart. And also need a couple of cross members to cross member the bottom of the frame. Okay, we'll mock some more stuff up and get her together. More to come.